Hi everybody. I'm doing things a little out of order today, but I will get to the soaps after this. Okay, so I had to clear up a couple things from yesterday because literally they happened after I made the video. Okay, so there was a big hullabaloo about that the Commonwealth is trying to manipulate the evidence to go in their favor, but it's like a very blatant and everything. And they tried to get a continuance from the judge, which means that they would stop the trial, have some time, and then pick up the trial after at a certain point. And then the reason I'm so like not about the charge is because it depends on what the judge would decide. But the judge, well, I've talked about this before, so I don't want to sound like a broken record. But it just seems to me like the whole thing is biased for the Commonwealth, and they don't really want a fair trial for anybody. And it just so happens to be Karen Reed in the hot seat. And so I feel bad for her because I don't think she's getting a fair shake. And just to be honest, I didn't think she got a fair shake the first time either. Um, and I guess lucky, well, I guess unlucky because she got a mistrial, but it means we're on trial number 2. Okay. So besides that, we had a guy. There were two witnesses today. There was a guy talking about DNA evidence, and you can tell he really likes his job, but it's really boring because he talks about how they go through a bunch of items, and he says, with this degree of certainty, it was John O'Keefe, and it could not have been anybody else. And then, but there were a lot of question marks because there was a lot more DNA than just John's on some stuff that you would think that would only have one person's DNA on it. Meaning, okay, his sneakers had 3 people's DNA on it. His and 2 other unknown people. One item had 5 people's DNA on it. So that was interesting. Um, okay. So then today also we had Ashley Villar. She's the another person who works at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab, and she just takes in the evidence and she makes sure it's secure. That's all she does. And then she does a little bit of testing, but not too much. And then her boss does the majority of the testing. So I think she's like a first level. I mean, Maureen Hartnett, although she was boring and monotone to listen to, I remember that she said you start as a level 1, and the more experience, and you have to pass these tests, competency tests, and the more tests you pass, you get levels. And so I think this Ashley is a level 1 or something at her job. I'm not saying same department. I'm just saying I think she's a level 1. Okay, so I know I didn't talk about yesterday that much because I told you guys I found out a little too late that one of the witnesses was going to be the ME, the medical examiner, and I can't listen to testimony because I just can't. It's too graphic. But she did after they got past all that. Um, they did say some helpful things here, which is apparently there was some trouble in the stomach lining, and it was because he has ulcers. He had ulcers, and so he took medication to help with the ulcers, but it messes with the lining. And then also, she said that there was brain damage, so she had to call in another specialist because that's not her specialty. And this is the first time we're hearing that he had brain damage. So, um, as I said before, everything I say is kind of speculation because the only people who know what really happened there were him and the people involved. And seeing as how we're probably not going to get the truth from the other people involved, it's a toss up. Okay? But seeing as how he has documented brain damage and no other injuries to any other part of his body except for his face, like under his eye, you know, and no other part of his body was had any kind of bruising whatsoever, and his arm. But then the arm, if you look at the photos, it looks like a dog, like either not bite, but like scratched him, you know. So okay, and then you have to couple that with you have to couple it with a couple of things, which are that the the dog was rehomed, and then also they said in previous testimony several times she was not good with strangers. And according to, John O'Keefe is not in her family, like to where she would know his scent. So she would consider him a stranger. So it all adds up. So either the dog attacked him or they attacked him and but then let the dog do something so that he would have the marks on his arm. It all kind of fits together. Is it perfect? No, but it's a lot better than the car accident theory. I mean, and I've always said that from day one. I never believed that he was run into by a car because the injuries he sustained are not congruent with that at all. And I've always said that. So, yeah. Okay. And then we had, yeah, I talked about the two witnesses today. That was it. Because also, I guess, I talked about this a little bit, but the schedule at that court is kind of weird because they have half days and holidays all the time. So sometimes you don't know when it's a half day or not. And today just happened to be one of them. So that's what happened. So court let out at, I think it was around 1, maybe a little bit before, but yeah. Um, okay, I think I covered it all. If I didn't cover it and I think of something else, I'll make another video tomorrow or something. Um, Although the weather here is going to be kind of dicey tomorrow, so that might have to be a little bit like touch and go, you know. But all right, bye guys.